Alongside the iPhone 15 in September, not only are we getting a new Apple Watch Series 9, we're also getting a second-gen version of the Apple Watch Ultra. And in this video, I want to talk about all the leaks and rumors we've been hearing, as well as show you some exclusive renders that you will not find anywhere else. As always, I partnered up with my boy Shay over at Concept Central to bring everything to life, and we're super excited about this latest batch and for you to see it. So let's start off this video first with the Apple Watch Series 9. Honestly, taking a look at the design, it is essentially identical to the Series 8. We haven't heard any credible information about an updated screen size or different body types, although there have been rumblings that the ceramic finish could be making a comeback. But overall, it's going to look pretty much identical to last year. What's changing is on the inside, and the first of these things is a faster processor. You might be wondering, that seems weird to start off a rumor video with a faster processor, considering that's something that happens each and every single year. And listen, while that is the case on the iPhone, that actually doesn't happen on the Apple Watch. And the processor in the newest Apple Watch Ultra is actually 3 years old. It's a 2020 design. Apple's pretty clever with how they do this. Each year they'll call it a new S6, S7, or S8 chip, but that just means it's a system in package, which includes not only the processor, but also additives like a compass or an altimeter. Apple can call it a new chip for the Apple Watch, but it's actually the same underlying architecture that they've had for a while. So this has a 3-year-old chip, and the Series 9 is finally jumping to 5nm technology based off of the iPhone A15 chip. So while normally a new chip would be a non-story, this could actually be a significant boost not only in performance and make the device last years and years to come, it could make the battery life maybe finally go past 18 hours. Now, speaking of something that's beautiful, I want to tell you about my iPhone case made by Caseku, who sponsored today's video. This is their brand new Cloud Cush series, and it is not only super vibrant and fun, it's incredibly protective as well. And to celebrate the launch, they're actually doing an iPad giveaway right now. All you have to do is hop on social media and share a way that you personally relieve stress, tag @Caseku, and use the hashtag #EaseWithCloudCush in the content. This is running until August 8th. They're giving away 1 iPad for the first 100 people, and then if more people enter, they're actually giving away up until 2, because they want to celebrate the all-new air cushion technology in the Cloud Cush series, which gives you up to 3 meters of military drop protection. So check out Caseku, link down below in the description. I've been loving my case. I think you'll love it too. Now, let's get back to the Apple Watch. A larger reason, though, that Apple is upgrading the processor this year, I think has to do a lot with watchOS 10, which is a complete redesign and essentially an iOS 7 moment for the Apple Watch. I've been using it for about a month and a half now on my Apple Watch Ultra, and the larger optimization for screens, the all-new UI and interface, as well as updated apps across the board, it just feels really solid. And while it doesn't struggle on these processors now that are currently out, I think with animations and smoothness over time, it will definitely pay off to put a faster chip here. And the other reason for a faster chip is it will allow Apple to continue to build out health features for the watch. Now, we haven't heard anything game-changing coming this year, but Apple is still actively working on blood glucose monitoring. Specifically, Apple's work on this feature has been for non-invasive blood glucose monitoring, because the way you have to measure blood glucose right now, specifically for those with diabetes, you have to prick a finger, draw a little bit of blood, and then a machine or a tab will read out what your levels are. Doing that is annoying. Pricking your finger multiple times a day, it's literally intrusive. So Apple has now reached a proof of concept stage, we're hearing, according to a new report from Bloomberg's Mark Gurman, which essentially means that all they have to do now, which is probably the even harder part, is shrink this technology down into something that fits into an Apple Watch on your wrist. We're hearing this is going to take 3 to 7 years, so we're not expecting this until about 2030, which is weird to say. So the good news is Apple's figured it out. The bad news is it's gonna take some time for it to come into the Apple Watch. And in the interim, I expect us to see more health features, potentially like Apple expanding the use of the built-in body temperature thermometer that was added to the Apple Watch last year. Right now, it's only used for 2 things, helping people track their periods and generating a baseline temp while you sleep. But I could see Apple making it so it could tell you, hey, you might have a fever, or you could be getting a cold, because your watch might know changes in your body temperature before you even realize it. As for other updates for the Apple Watch Series 9 specifically, well, we haven't really heard much. It sounds like faster chip, minor health updates, and the big focus is going to be on the software, watchOS 10, which Apple has already unveiled. The much larger Apple Watch update this year is the 2nd-gen Apple Watch Ultra. Now, the Apple Watch Ultra has been a huge hit since Apple unveiled it, and this year, while the overall design is going to remain the same because they just announced it a year ago, I would absolutely expect some new colors and variations, especially some new workout bands. performance. That being said though, there are two interesting moves that Apple is making with the construction of this product. First of all, it's going to be not only the first Apple Watch with 3D printed parts, but the first Apple product ever to do so. This one comes courtesy of analyst Guomin Shi, who is very connected to the supply chain and would know about this, but it's unclear as to why Apple's using 3D printed parts instead of the current CNC machine that they've been using. And admittedly, the only theories I can find have to do with Apple making this product easier to produce and also cheaper for them. I'm curious if like the digital crown will now be cheaper feeling or just different feeling in general, or if the action button will have a new printing process. I feel like this is one of these rumors that we don't actually know what it means until we see the way that Apple unveils it. But the second part is huge. It's going to be a reduction in weight. If there's been one complaint about this product, it's that it is like 60 plus grams, which is almost twice the weight of any other Apple Watch. According to a new rumor source on Weibo who has been accurate about things in the past, Apple is reducing the weight this year, and potentially the 3D printed parts are part of that story. If they're a lighter material, that could in turn help reduce the weight, or maybe Apple's found a way to use less titanium or physical material here. Either way, it's going to make things like exercising with the Apple Watch Ultra even better. And speaking of exercise, this is the Ultra, right? This is the thing made for explorers and adventurers and people that go on hikes and go swimming in the ocean and go on 48-mile runs. I also use it too, but right, the target market is for people that are kind of pushing the Apple Watch to the extremes. And a lot of those people might find themselves out in the wilderness or in places with no or very low cellular connectivity. And that's why, according to Bloomberg's Mark Gurman, Apple is working to add emergency SOS via satellite to the Apple Watch this year. Now, if this feature sounds familiar, it's because Apple announced this exactly a year ago on the iPhone 14 lineup. Every iPhone 14 can connect to a satellite and you can call or request help. And this feature has saved so many lives already. There is a new story each and every single week about how somebody got stranded. Recently, it was someone falling down into a canyon and they were able to get rescued because of their iPhone. But considering that iPhone battery life is just about 1 day and the Apple Watch Ultra goes about 2 days, what if you got stranded and your iPhone was dead and you had that feature but no way to charge it? Well, now with the Apple Watch Ultra 2, you could call for help using satellite connectivity on your watch. And honestly, the more I think about it, the more I feel like emergency SOS via satellite makes more sense on a watch than a phone, especially one made for going out and potentially getting stuck in the wilderness. And it's going to make the $800 price tag of the Apple Watch Ultra even sweeter. In fact, I don't want Apple to do this, but I really feel like the Apple Watch Ultra is worth $1,000. I think they hit $799 and that's made it super sweet. But if this product was magically $1,000 overnight, it's still just as much worth it for the functionality, larger screen. The feature set is just unmatched. This is all great, but when is it coming out? When are we getting out only the Series 9 and the Apple Watch Ultra 2? Well, we are hearing September. It is said to launch alongside the iPhone 15 and iPhone 15 Pro lineup. So basically, you should start saving up now because September is going to bankrupt not only me, but a lot of you as well. But this is expected. Apple always releases new watches in September. I think they've done this every year for nearly the past decade now, and we're going to get that alongside the iPhone 15s as well. It's going to be sick. Now, finally, closing out this video, I want to address a rumor that we've heard about the Apple Watch Series 10. I don't know if you guys have seen this story floating around, but I am incredibly skeptical that Apple is planning to do this. Some time ago now, an Apple analyst without a proven track record said that within the next year or so, Apple is planning to release the 10th generation anniversary edition of the Apple Watch, and it's going to have some pretty wild features. The screen is set to get another 5 to 10% bigger, which like increasing the size on the watches even more. Like the screen already curves off on the edges. It's going to be hard to keep that in a 45mm design. It's also going to be a general special anniversary edition with like a custom look, it sounds like. Now, listen, I'm not saying Apple's never going to create an Apple Watch Series X or 10 because that's literally going to come out in one way or another next year. I just don't know if it's going to be this special anniversary edition, super crazy redesign idea that it is rumored to be, especially because the source for this just doesn't have a track record and it kind of sounds like hearsay. You might have noticed that I did not mention a new version of the Apple Watch SE at all in this video, and that's because it's on an every couple of years upgrade cycle, and considering that Apple just updated it at the end of 2022, they do not have plans for a new model this year. So if you've been thinking about buying an Apple Watch SE, that's the lower cost version, $200-300, you should just go do it because there's not a new one coming until at least 2024, well over a year from now. Okay, I'm pretty excited for these watches, especially the Ultra 2. The fact that Apple is updating this on a yearly cycle has got me so excited because I've wanted a product like this forever, and it's out, and it's gonna get even better. I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you enjoyed it, the exclusive renders, then you should go give Shay over at Concept Central a subscribe and a follow. He is doing some of the best work in the game right now. He's my partner in crime, and I'm just super proud of the work we've been doing together. It's been really fun to make these videos. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. Thank you for watching. Subscribe for more. Drop a like if you enjoyed. I'll catch you in the next one. Bye-bye.